I'm really excited about tonight's webinar. Everybody can see my lovely kitchen behind me. Not really that lovely, but I have some salad ingredients already prepped. So, oh, 2 Canadians. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Feel free to send anything that any comments or any questions that you have while we're going right through the chat, just like we just did. So I want to preface by saying that I already did prep the ingredients and I did wash everything. So I know sometimes people question if I wash things. I prepped everything, washed everything, so it's ready to go for tonight, just for the sake of time, so that I can give you guys all of the information, but then also do a little bit of a demo for you. So I always want to highlight a couple of our portal recipes, but I also just want to give you a few tips. So what I want to do is, okay. Whoa, we have 2 Ontario girls. You guys should, well, maybe after this is all squared away, meet one day. That would be really cool. But what I really want to talk about today is how to build a better salad. So it's really no surprise that a lot of people kind of have a preconceived, notion that salad is a healthy meal, which is not untrue. But sorry, people are still kind of like entering the meeting. So I just want to make sure I get everybody in and mute and turn off their videos. Please don't take it personal. Just want to make sure that we don't have anybody else's face on the screen. So one of the things about salads is that I do think that they can be a really nutritious meal, but it doesn't always have to be the thing that you go for when you're looking for something that's, a healthy option. I think there's nothing wrong with having a salad as a meal if that's something that you're really in the mood for. And it can be a great way to get a bunch of food groups in one shot if you do it in the right way. So I think the problem that a lot of us run into is that they're not filling enough. So a lot of people hate eating salads because they leave us feeling hungry, or they're boring, or they don't really have a lot of flavor. But it doesn't have to be like this. So that's why I kind of wanted to highlight some of the tips to building a better salad. So my first thing is make lettuce the base and not the star. So a lot of times we always think like our salad has to consist of like a ton of lettuce, or maybe like kale, or even something that we don't even necessarily like. So maybe we want to focus on having lettuce be the base of our dish, but not necessarily the star ingredient or the main ingredient. Include greens, of course. They're an excellent source of vitamins and phytonutrients. And when people say dark leafy greens, you can get a great serving of dark leafy greens with a salad, and they mean things like kale, spinach. Somebody just commented that they like to use spinach in their salad. Romaine lettuce, cabbage, bok choy. Those are all things that people say or mean when they say dark leafy greens, things that are leafy. Though think of lettuce as the toppable thing that you're putting in the salad. Somebody else just entered. And then kind of just wanted to highlight some of the different green options. So for a peppery flavor, you can go with arugula. Arugula is my favorite. It definitely has like more of a flavor in itself. So it definitely tends to have like a peppery flavor, as well as watercress does as well. And if you're looking for something that's not green, you can go with like red and white radishes. So I don't know that I would consider that really like a leaf or a leafy green, or a green, but you can kind of like consider that the base of a salad for sure, a vegetable. For something with a bite, escarole could be a good option as the base. Something that has a mild flavor would be bib lettuce or that has like a delicate green color. For the deep green color that somebody had mentioned about the spinach that they like, that's where you're going to get like that really rich, deep green color. And then for a crisp texture is like your romaine. There's also the option to do kale. I would definitely consider that to be a leafy green. My tip with that, a lot of people say it tastes like they're just chewing forever with kale. One thing with that is definitely breaking it down. So I massage kale, and I know some people do it with oil. If we want to cut down on the fat, especially if you want to save it for toppings or dressing or whatnot, I massage mine with lemon. So I'll either do that or water. I squeeze lemon or water onto the kale and kind of just literally massage the leaves, and it breaks down the bitterness, and you can actually see the leaves kind of wilt slightly, but it just makes it easier to chew and makes the leaf itself just a little bit more enjoyable to eat. Somebody mentioned like head or Boston lettuce. I would kind of like consider that like a crisp texture like the romaine. So one thing I wanted to address too is I got emailed a question. I'm not sure if that person is in the webinar, but I got emailed a question about how to keep your greens fresh. So like I said, I did clean everything here. For the salads that I'm making today, I am doing them both from the member portal. I'm making the cold shrimp salad, which I'm going to have for dinner tonight, and the Asian edamame salad. And the Asian edamame salad calls for coleslaw mix. So I went to Trader Joe's this weekend and got the ingredients for the salad. I actually didn't get coleslaw mix. I picked up this cruciferous crunch instead. So I saved this bag because I wanted to show everybody. This is a blend of kale, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, green cabbage, and red cabbage. So the kale is kind of like torn apart, which is another good thing to do with kale, is like really break it down so that it's smaller pieces, not just like using the whole kale leaf. So what I will say with this is what I'm going to do, I already washed this and then strained it in a colander because I don't have a salad spinner. But the recommendation for generally getting your salad greens or your leafy greens to be dry and ready to go for your salad is to wash them, use a salad spinner to get all of the liquid off and let them sit and let them drain all of the water, right? So I actually washed them and I used a colander, a strainer. So I really just let them sit in my sink and let all the water drain out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rest that's in the bag. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wash it. I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag in my fridge, and I'm going to take a wet paper towel, not completely wet, just slightly damp, and just put it inside the Ziploc bag. And that usually keeps my greens fresh for a little while. My next tip too is when they start to go a little bit, when they progress past their shelf life, when we're ready to get rid of them, if we don't make it through the bag, I'm going to take that same bag and turn it right over to the freezer, and then I'm going to use it for smoothie greens. So I'll just put those right in my smoothie. They're frozen and just ready to be poured right into my smoothie. So that's what I would recommend using like leftover greens for. Somebody mentioned if you have thyroid issues, limit your kale. It's a really good tip. Thanks for sharing that. Somebody else is joining. So I love these bagged lettuces that they have. This one's really great because it's a mixture of a couple. So as you can see, like I said, I had already kind of like spread it out. It's really beautiful too when you pour it in the bowl. So it presents a really nice aesthetic when you are back to entertaining people, if you want to make this for a family. Hi, if you just joined me, I'm just going to mute you. Oh, somebody mentioned that they usually make soup with the veggies that are not as crisp anymore. That's a really good one too. You can take the leftover spinach and cook that into eggs. So, there's a ton of different options that you can do with the leftover greens when they're just not good enough to really like eat as a salad. So yeah, continue to send your tips through. The other green that I used or base that I used for the salads. The Asian edamame salad called for purple cabbage. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any that I was going to chop like a full head. So again, at Trader Joe's, they had this shredded green and red cabbage, and it did have some carrots in it too. So I just wanted to show everybody what that looked like. So these bags are really great. They don't come with like any dressing or any added like almonds or anything like that. So these are really just vegetable servings that come in these bags. So I want to save that. That one I put in the, it's on the bottom of the Asian edamame salad. So yeah, kind of like thinking about lettuce as the base and not really the star of your salad. The step 2 is to add protein. A lot of times when I'm working with clients and I see that they've had a salad for lunch, it'll be just a bunch of veggies and maybe like some dressing. So that's definitely something that we want to edit, is be sure to add protein for your added satiety so that you feel a little bit more full. So that's another spot. If you're having a full lunch meal and you're not having a protein serving there, most On Point Nutrition clients have 2 or more protein servings. So that's really a missed opportunity to get a full protein serving in at lunch. I know not everybody eats animal protein, but you can add 2 to 4 ounces of your favorite. So I'm giving you the example of a shrimp salad tonight. The other salad doesn't have any protein in it, but you can always kind of like add something, you know, whatever it is that's your favorite. So chicken, salmon, shrimp, tuna, tofu, veggie burger, scrambled or hard-boiled eggs. If we were just making the Asian edamame salad, like if let's say you were just making 1 portion, you could always add more edamame. So you could do a plant-based protein in that way too. So you can always kind of like play with the recipe and figure out what fits for you, but making sure that you have some type of protein source with your salad is going to be key, because that's where you're going to feel a little bit more full. Somebody mentioned that they like to add a boiled egg. So I think that's great. So we want to have 2 eggs would count as half a protein source, with kind of like the On Point Nutrition way of breaking down your servings. So unfortunately, with like your veggie portions, or your vegetarian options, I should say, those will be more like half proteins as well as the egg. But chicken, salmon, shrimp, any of those things, at least a 4-ounce portion will be a full protein portion. My next tip is to add other veggies. So also maybe even fruit. You can get at least 2 vegetable servings from a salad, and you should. In addition to the veggie toppings, that will help your dish be more filling. So chopped tomatoes, shredded carrots, onions, sliced cucumbers, etc. Cut them into bite-sized pieces so that each bite that you take with your fork is tasty and manageable. Again, so that you ever go to like a restaurant back in the day where they would give you like a huge hunk of like tomato, it's not fun to bite into a huge piece of tomato like that. So maybe that's where we kind of like start to hate salads a lot. All the vegetables that I have for tonight, I diced small so that each bite is kind of flavorful. So I have diced onion and bell pepper for the avocado salad. And then I have some cucumbers that I cut into quarters. And shredded carrots. These were a little harder because I didn't have like a great peeler, but they came out pretty good. I ran out of bowls too. So everything is really in bite-sized pieces. So definitely adding more vegetables. Somebody commented, that's why I love chopped salads. Everything is easier to get pieces of everything into one bite. Perfect. Right. We don't want to be like hurting our mouths trying to get around, one huge tomato. And then it's kind of like not really flavorful, that bite. So that's a huge thing. That's one way that you can get your at-home salad to taste more like a restaurant salad for half the cost. So far we're making lettuce the base, we're adding protein, we're adding other vegetables. My other tip was maybe even fruit. So in the summer months, strawberries, blueberries, pomegranate, those kind of things are so good in salads. Peaches, watermelon, really any fruit probably. My next tip is to add a starch. Please include a starch, either inside or on the side of your salad. This really goes for most of your meals. Should really kind of like have something from each of your food group with all of your meals. So I'm sure your nutritionist or a dietitian has, you know, if you look at your sample meal plan, planned you something from each food group with your meal. So the same thing should go for your salad. Tonight, I have edamame going with the salad. I am actually divided up the edamame that I had so that I can put it in both so that I have a starch with both. This helps with fiber and helps to make your salad, again, feel more filling, less boring. It doesn't have to be bread. The first, starch option in most people's heads is bread. It doesn't have to be bread. It doesn't have to be croutons. Think chickpeas, butternut squash, corn, black beans, quinoa. Somebody mentioned couscous in the chat. It's delicious. Quinoa, farro, wheat berries. I love farro in a salad. Heck, I've even seen granola in a salad before, and it was delicious. So if putting starch in the salad isn't your thing, then doing a slice of pita or bread on the side is an option too, for maybe like dipping or kind of like scooping up the salad. Also too, maybe homemade tortilla chips or something sprinkled on is an option too. Anybody have any other ideas for salad starches? Somebody asked about avocado. That's the next tip. We're putting avocado in the salad tonight. So we went through so far, to recap, what we have so far is a base, which is going to be like our lettuce. And I guess we could kind of like count the starch as a base as well, and maybe if we're at Salad Works and we're building our own. Oh, somebody said roll up the salad in a whole wheat tortilla. Okay, that's a good one too. Add a protein, add other vegetables, and then we have our starch. Add healthy fats. So somebody asked the question of what about avocado? They would be in the healthy fat category. So also dairy, if this is your thing. I'm not calling dairy a healthy fat, but this is part of tip number 5 is add healthy fats and dairy if that's your thing. Just like protein and carbohydrates, your body needs fat for energy to absorb vitamins and to protect your heart and brain health. So for years, we've been told that eating fat will add inches to your waistline and raise your cholesterol and cause a myriad of health problems. But we know that not all fat is created the same. So we want to choose carefully and go for the unsaturated fats like avocados, olives, nuts, and seeds. So nuts and seeds will also help you with that crunch factor. So in the Asian edamame salad, we have cashews, which are an unsaturated fat, which are healthy fat. So this is one of the healthy fats. And then with the shrimp salad, we have avocado. So I chopped it up already right before. And then both salads contain a homemade dressing that also have oils in them, which are unsaturated fats. So they both have olive oil and sesame oil. So those are all going to be kind of like heart healthy, unsaturated fats. Your saturated fat is more like butter, anything that's going to come from an animal source. So fats that come from like meats. That's why we kind of like limit our consumption of red meat. Coconut's actually considered a saturated fat. You just have to be kind of careful with that. Any questions so far? So we kind of just want to make sure that we're getting all of the toppings in. Somebody shared their regular salad recipe. Said, bagged garden salad mix, boiled egg, avocado, shredded cheddar cheese, and jalapeno peppers. I love that. Yeah, the only thing maybe is like if you want to add extra veggies in order to get an extra, vegetable serving. And then also, if you did 2 hard-boiled eggs, you would be able to get like a half a protein portion. And then you're missing one thing that I just mentioned that we want to make sure that we add, that we want to have with every meal. Somebody asked if ghee was a healthy fat. And I would say that so ghee is clarified butter, just in case anybody doesn't know. It is like, it's a short chain fatty acid. I would say, so it's kind of a hot button fat, I would say. I don't technically kind of like use it myself. I know that it has like a high heat point, which can like prevent things from burning. It has like some health benefits in its own right, but I think it's helpful in helping the body absorb essential vitamins and minerals. But I think that I'm just trying to find like some nutrition facts on it here, just because I don't really know too much about ghee, but it removes the milk from butter essentially. So I think that it is kind of like a better option than using butter. Although I think olive oil is probably a better fat option. So with the salad that you shared, what I was going to say was the only thing that I would change is to your regular salad. We needed a starch there. Oh, orange in a salad, somebody commented. Oh, pita chips, perfect. Olives in a salad. Sorry if there was a little delay. I was trying to read everybody's comments. Olives are a great fat option. So that would be another unsaturated fat. And then I like the addition of the pita chips because we needed a starch. So yeah, I would just maybe increase your egg portion and you'll get a half protein there and add the pitas. So yeah, my only real other tip is like get creative. So in the summer months, experiment with protein options, make homemade dressings, which we have here. Think of salads as a great way to get a bunch of food groups at one time instead of a dreaded boring dish. So experiment with different green bases, different lettuce options. If you've never had arugula, for instance, or if you've never tried like a kale mix like this that has shredded Brussels sprouts, it's really amazing. Experiment, maybe buy a different base every week or something. Different starch combos. So, sometimes I plan meal plans and put quinoa in salads on people's meal plans, and that's something that they've never seen before. So, experiment kind of like putting those things in there. Somebody asked, can we talk about packing a salad for lunch without or packing it for the week without it getting droopy? So I did see that question maybe I think come through in an email. And what I would say is obviously definitely like we want to put the dressing on the side and then add that later. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to mix in my dressing here and it's already going to be made, but we'll probably hopefully eat it quickly so that there's not too much left over. But what I would say is for your lettuce, I really don't know that I would prep it for like an entire week, though I have seen people prep them in like mason jars and they put the greens all the way at the bottom and then kind of like layer everything. And it really does stay like pretty compact if you have huge mason jars. So I store a lot of like dry goods in these. So it has chia seeds in it right now. But if you have a big mason jar like this, this is even kind of small to hold everything that would be in a salad, the way that I eat salads. So you could try it that way. I don't know that I would do like too many days ahead of time personally, but obviously I would add the dressing last. But other than that, I don't know why it would really get too droopy if there wasn't any wet ingredients on it. So I think if you pack it the night before and keep it cool, keep it cold, and maybe pack it with an ice pack in your lunchbox, then it should be good. Maybe try the mason jar method if you can find big enough ones, and then add the salads after. I've also seen bento box containers. So hold. I have these where I don't know if you guys can see, there's different compartments. I've seen these set up as like specifically for salads, where there's a bowl, and then there's like a little tray that goes on top where you would put the greens in the bottom, and then you would put like your little spaces for all the toppings on top, and then there's a little like spot for your dressing. You could kind of like put it like this, where you could put your greens separate and then put the toppings over here, and then you could kind of just like add it when you're ready to eat it. So these are really good just to have just for lunches and whatnot. Somebody asked serving size for greens and other veggies for eyeballing. So 6 ounces is a serving size for a raw vegetable. So I would say that that's like the size of like a softball, right? That's really going to be like the size of like a big softball. That's like a cup. So those big softballs, not the baseball, which is a cup. So right here, I have a cup of edamame measured out for the salad, so you can kind of see like what that looks like. I mean, I can fit, like it fits in the palm of my hand perfectly. So if we're gonna eyeball, so for greens, I would take like 3 handfuls of this would be 1 serving, because we usually say 3 cups of greens is 1 serving. So 3 handfuls of greens would be 1 serving. And then if you were going to do veggies for the top, it would be one of these raw veggies. So there's a lot of raw veggies to be 1 vegetable. I hope that answers your question. So we kind of went over like how to not have it wilt, and then like keep your lettuce fresh, what to do with it when it kind of goes bad. And then hopefully some of these container things are helpful. On the member portal, we do have some bento box and glass container recommendations, also like veggie reusable Ziploc container, zipping bags, whatever you want to call it. So kind of want to just like show everybody how to mix up the salads. Pretty basic here. So I'm just going to slide everybody over. So first I want to put together the cold shrimp salad. All right, so this recipe, the directions are for peeled and deveined shrimp. So in the instructions, so somebody just asked for the homemade dressing recipes. They're included with these recipes that are on the member portal. So this one is the cold shrimp salad, and let me just send it here in the chat so that everybody can see it. Oops. Okay, so with the first one, it called for uncooked large shrimp, peeled and deveined. So I got frozen. And the first instruction is to heat 2 teaspoons of olive oil and season the shrimp with salt and pepper. So you can do that. Personally, we grilled it. So my assistant, my boyfriend, went outside today and grilled it for me. And that helped me a lot. So we just kind of like the flavor of the grilled shrimp versus cooking it in the pan. And there's less cleanup, honestly. So if you're going to do it that way, it's great. And what you'll want to do is cook it on 1 to 2 minutes on each side until it's pink or cooked through, right? Then you just want to kind of set that aside because this is a cold shrimp salad. So you kind of just want it to come back down and be like at room temperature. We're gonna refrigerate it afterward. So I stuck mine right in the fridge to kind of like get it down to the cold temperature that we want it to be. So in a large bowl, what we want to do is add the avocado. We want to add the cucumber, red onion, bell pepper, carrot, cabbage, and the shrimp. So I already put my greens in here just so that it was already like ready. And here's my shrimp already cooked. See, it looks so good. And like I said, this one doesn't normally have edamame, but I'm adding it just so that this can be a little bit more filling for us. And I think it will be nice. It'll taste good. So this has the dressing recipe. This one's really simple. It's really just lemon and olive oil. I added garlic too because there's never enough garlic. So I already added that in a little bowl on the side here. Ready to go. So next I'm going to add my carrots. Again, I already chopped and cleaned everything. So it's all ready to go. Cheated a little bit. All right, now I got some red onion. Give you guys an update. This is it's such a pretty one. This is probably really nice in the summertime too. And we have green pepper, green bell pepper, and cucumber. Honestly, I might only add half of this cucumber because this is a whole lot. We'll add the whole thing. You can always have more veggies. Can't even see the greens anymore because there's so many veggies on this. Honestly, I used a little bit larger portions than the recipe called for. So I would even say I might even be getting more than what it says. And then I'm going to add the shrimp and the avocado on top.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the I mean, I can save 1 to 2 milligrams, but once you get out and constipated, whatnot.
Somebody asked, what is better, vinegar or lemon juice? Is balsamic vinegar better than regular one? Well, balsamic vinegar and regular vinegar have different flavor profiles completely. So balsamic vinegar has a little bit more of like a sugary taste, and there's more sugar to it as well. So vinegar is just like a little bit more basic, and balsamic vinegar is a little bit more complex and has some sugar content. So this one doesn't have any vinegar. I believe the other recipe does, for the Asian edamame salad. I actually have to admit I did omit the vinegar because I don't have any and I don't like vinegar. So that's the beauty of doing these kind of things. You can just do whatever you want. So this is what we have. This is the final salad. Can't hear you guys because you're all on mute, but I hope you're oohing and ahhing. So all I need to do is really just add that dressing in and then just mix it all up. Wow, we got a wow. I hope everybody was following along. So really, yeah, it is a big portion. Somebody commented. This one, I did it so that it made 2. It says that this is 2 portions, but like I said, I kind of used a little bit on the higher end of all the vegetables. This was like a very large amount of cucumber that I put in here. So this is a lot. Also the lemon juice and olive oil, that's the homemade dressing on this one. Looks delicious. It really, I know it will be. This one's great. So next I have the Asian edamame salad. And this one, for the person who asked about the dressing, is olive oil, white vinegar, which I said I did omit, sesame oil, maple syrup, sriracha. If you don't love sriracha or like that hot sauce, flavor, just go ahead and omit that. and then a little bit of salt and garlic. So I don't currently have sriracha, so I just substituted that with hot sauce, which is totally fine. And it smells so good, I will say. So I made a smaller portion because it's just me and my boyfriend, and I have it right here. So with this one has the base of the cabbage too, so it's just a little bit different. But this one also has cucumbers, so I got a lot of cucumbers. Now this is the only one. This didn't have a protein, option. So we used all the shrimp on the other one. So what I will probably do if I choose to eat this one for lunch this week is heat up. I have some veggie burgers, or I have shrimp burgers actually that I got from Trader Joe's, and we have some chicken that he can throw in with his. So we definitely want to add a protein to that. Somebody mentioned their favorite dressing is soy sauce, a little sesame oil, a little lime juice. That one sounds great. One thing I love to do as a dressing, which might sound kind of weird, but you might want to give it a chance, is I like to just take hummus and mix it in a little dish with salsa. So good. So simple. There's like really not a lot of fat. It's like kind of like a creamier, thicker dressing without it being, like high in fat content. But I like that idea. Soy sauce goes a long way too, because it has like that nice flavor without it being like overly fatty. So that's a really good tip. So this one, we added the cucumbers. Next, I'm just going to add the carrots. These are super veggie packed. And then this one also has cilantro. So I forgot to kind of like mention that in the tips, but herbs go a super long way as well. And that's something that you find in a lot of like restaurant and like sweet green type salads, is they use a lot of herbs, sweet green and honey grow. And that's something that I always kind of like forget to use, is like cilantro and like basil and those kind of things. But that helps make it so flavorful too. So this one has cilantro. More edamame. So like I said, I split up the edamame. Instead of putting all of it in this salad, I split it up between the two so that I could have a starch in that salad as well. Sorry, somebody just asked me for the link. So forgot to send you guys this one. Send it right now. So with this salad, you're getting half a protein, a starch, a vegetable, and 3 fats as it's written. So the only thing is, like, with these homemade dressings, you do get a little bit of a higher fat content. If that's something that you're trying to cut down on, I will say I did not add the oil to this dressing. So it calls for 1/4 cup of oil, and I didn't add it so that I could kind of like reduce the fat servings that were in it. So I really just added the sriracha, the maple syrup, the sesame oil, and the spices to it. And I omitted the oil. So you can kind of like always make alterations to fit whatever it is that you need. Because it also does have cashews in it too. So that's, this is a little bit on the higher end of a, fat content as far as salads go. So I'm just gonna kind of like add this, sprinkle in the cashews. My coworker got me these bowls for Secret Santa. They're so cute. And then kind of like add in the dressing as I need it. But I kind of gotta add that in last because I just don't want it to get soggy like we talked about. So let me show everybody what this looks like. Both are colorful and beautiful. This is the Asian edamame salad. And then this is the cold shrimp salad. I wish you guys could smell these dressings. They smell so good, and see these, and I wish I could share. Somebody asked, I'm looking for a quick salad to build a quick salad to take with me to work. What are ingredients I can add to my salads? All right. We just went through it. So you got to kind of like look through and see what it is that you have. we just talked through all the different kind of like greens that you can use. Start there, build in, add a protein, add a starch, add fats, dairy. So I would start there. Start with your base, start with what protein are you going to add to it, then go to like vegetable toppings. So what kind of vegetables can you chop up and put into them? Different fats. So with these, we put cashews, we put avocado as our fats, and the dressing is counting as fats as well. But yeah, I would say kind of like start and build from there. Make sure that you have something from every food group. Yeah, you're welcome, everybody. I see all your comments coming through. I definitely recommend making these. This was really easy to put together once you chopped everything. So I just saw somebody's comment about not able to make the salad ahead of time, but you can chop and dice all of the veggies for the week, which is totally true. So thankfully, I had time before this earlier today. I will say it probably took me like an hour. I will say an hour to prep everything for these 2 salads. So if this is something that you wanted to prep for your week and not add the dressings and then just chop everything and put it in one of those bento boxes. Now I made 2 huge salads, but if you wanted to just make one and maybe like put it in to those containers and add everything together, or one of those big mason jars, you can always do that. It'd be like an hour. Somebody asked about putting yogurt in salad dressings to replace mayo. 100% Greek yogurt. I think that's great. Also, I would say avocado. Depends how like far in advance you're going to make it, but yeah, I use avocado in tuna, like for tuna salad all the time, and it's so great. Somebody asked about not heating up food, so could you make a Buddha salad bowl? Yeah, I think that's great. I eat rice cold, quinoa cold, things like that cold all the time. I think that that's really actually like trendy, is to like eat cold grains. So I don't see why not. I think that's great. I mean, we're going to eat cold edamame and cold shrimp tonight. So you can do it. Any other questions or comments? You have both of the recipes are in the chat here. They're both also on the member portal. And next week we have another webinar on binge eating that I think everybody will probably really enjoy with my coworker. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see this edamame question. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but edamame can be a protein. It will be half a protein if you have a cup. So 1 cup would be half a protein and 1 starch. If you just have half a cup, it would just be a starch portion. So any vegetarian or vegan people. Yes, somebody mentioned like cucumbers and zucchini being very like, you know, containing water. So that would be the only other thing too that would make maybe your lettuce soggy. Tomatoes too, zucchini. That would be like a topping that you would want to keep separate, because I can already see like the water coming off of some of my cucumbers. So there's also going to be an email going out, follow-up email with the recipes if you're not able to find them. And feel free to reach out and ask me any questions. You can email me. You can find me on Instagram at OnPointKate. So let me know if you make these. Send me a picture. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear your feedback. And yeah, I can't wait to see you guys again soon. Thanks for coming. Bye.